half of every dream you have is gone within 5 minutes of waking. Within 10 minutes, 90% is gone forever. By the end of this, you'll understand why your brain deletes entire worlds you just lived in. Think about last night. You were somewhere. A place, a face, a whole story playing out. It felt completely real. Then your eyes opened. And for a second, you had it. You could still feel the edges of it. You reached for it, and it slipped through your fingers like water. That feeling is nearly universal. Almost everyone knows it. You wake up certain you dreamed something huge, and you cannot get it back. So what is actually happening in there? Why would your brain build a whole world, then erase it before you can look at it twice? Here's the first clue. You dream mostly during a stage called REM sleep. That's rapid eye movement. Your eyes flick around behind closed lids. Your brain lights up almost like it's awake. But one part goes quiet. A part that helps turn short-term moments into long-term memories. During REM, your brain is running the movie, but isn't really recording it. Now here's where it gets stranger. Ask yourself a simple question. If you can't remember dreams, how do you know you have them? Because of a second case. When people are woken up directly out of REM sleep, in a lab, mid-dream, something changes completely. Wake someone right then, and they'll describe a rich, detailed dream. Vivid, full of story. Wake that same person just a few minutes later, and it's gone. Same night, same brain. The dream evaporated in the gap. So the dreams are there. You're living them. The problem isn't the dreaming. The problem is the crossing. The moment between sleep and waking. And this is the twist. For a long time, people assumed you simply forget dreams because they're unimportant. Junk. Random noise your brain throws away. But that idea doesn't hold up. Because your brain isn't sleeping through the forgetting. It's doing something active. One leading theory points to a chemical called norepinephrine. Think of it as a memory glue. When it's high, moments stick. When it's low, they wash away. And during REM sleep, this chemical drops to almost nothing. It's one of the lowest points in your entire day. So the exact moment you're having your most vivid dreams is the exact moment your brain is least able to save them. It's not that the dream is forgettable. It's that the recorder is switched off. So why on earth would evolution build it that way? Why go to all the trouble of dreaming, then throw the tape away? Let me show you the strange comparison that makes this click. Imagine if every dream stuck. If you woke each morning with last night's dream burned in as hard as a real memory. You'd have flown. You'd have talked to people who are gone. You'd have lived scenes that never happened, mixed right in with scenes that did. Your memory of your actual life would blur with fiction. You might not be able to tell what was real. So one idea is that forgetting is a feature, not a bug. Your brain may be protecting the line between what happened and what you only dreamed. The measured facts back up how fragile this line is. In studies, dream recall crashes fast. The steepest drop is in those very first minutes after waking. Before your eyes open, the dream is basically fully there. Minutes later, it's mostly gone. Almost nothing else in your memory decays that quickly. Compare that to a real event from yesterday. Lunch. A conversation. You can still find it a day later, a week later. But a dream? It has the shelf life of a snowflake on your palm. And here is the most important piece. The core reason it slips. think of memory in 2 steps. First, you make a memory. Then you save it. 2 separate jobs. Dreaming handles the making, but saving needs the brain to switch modes. And that switch depends on chemistry that's flat during REM. When you wake, there's a tiny window, a handoff. For a few seconds, the dream is sitting in short-term memory, waiting. If your attention grabs it right then and turns it into words, you can save it. If not, the next wave of the waking world pours in. And here's the cruel timing. The instant you wake, your senses flood back. Light, sound, the feel of your bed, the first thought of your day. That flood overwrites the fragile dream before it can be stored. Your waking life literally paints over it. So the dream doesn't fade because it's weak. It fades because reality moves in first, and there's no room to hold both. That's the reveal. You're not losing your dreams. You're being interrupted every single morning by the arrival of the world. Now, the common mistake. Most people think a bad memory is to blame. They say, I just have a terrible memory for dreams. But that's almost certainly not it. It's not a flaw in you. It's the design of the crossing itself. And there's a second mistake. People believe there's nothing to be done, that dreams are simply unreachable. Actually, the science suggests the opposite. If forgetting is about that fragile window, then the window can be widened. People who keep a dream journal remember far more dreams over time. Not because their memory improved, because they trained themselves to catch the dream before the flood. The trick is stillness. When you wake, don't move. Don't open your eyes fully. Don't reach for your phone. Lie there. Hold the last image. Replay it once. Give the fragile memory a few extra seconds before the world rushes in. Do that, and the 90% that usually vanishes starts to shrink. You begin pulling dreams back out of the dark. So what has all of this changed? Sleep researchers now use this window on purpose. They wake people at precise moments in REM to study dreaming while it's still fresh. It's helping map how the brain sorts memory, what keeps what it clears and why. And that touches real life, memory, learning, even how we understand aging. And for you, tonight, it means something simple. The morning blankness isn't emptiness. It's a rich, hidden world sitting just behind a thin curtain. Most mornings, the curtain drops before you look. But now you know exactly when to peek. So let's loop back to where we started. Half your dream gone in 5 minutes. 90% gone in 10. Not because it never mattered, but because your brain runs the movie with the recorder off and the waking world floods in before you can save the tape. Here's what scientists still argue about. Why do we dream at all? What is that nightly world for? We can watch it happen. We still can't fully say what it's for. And that's the quiet wonder of it. Every night, you live a whole story. And every morning, most of it returns to the dark unwatched.